Hello and good evening, Para family. We're so happy to see you all today. I am not Alex Matsuo. I am Whitney Zahar, and I am your I will be your host for this evening as we do our final wonderful our final series, our final episode of the Symposium weekly speaker series. And we are going to wrap it up tonight, and we will have the Paranormal Research Symposium on August 23rd in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Oh, it's so exciting, everybody. First, I do have some breaking news. We are down, last I heard, to 24 tickets left for the symposium. So as a reminder, this is your last week to get your tickets at just $50. After this Friday, the door price will be $60. So if you want to grab those tickets now, they're going. We have, last I heard, 24 left. So that's pretty exciting. Tonight, we're going to be joined by John Griffin, who is a paranormal researcher and investigator, often called a paranormal scientist for his innovative approach. He leads, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it unless I'm reading it wrong, Uini, or I think it's Uini. I'll get that correction from him. Uini Research, a team focused on the physics of spiritual activity through experiments and unconventional methods. John has been featured on My Ghost Story, Caught on Camera, Paranormal Survivor, Paranormal 911, Deathwalker, and more. Tonight, he will be sharing insights from his groundbreaking Project Apparition Hall, a new initiative aimed at improving how we document apparition manifestations. I'm not going to lie, Project Apparition Hall almost sounds like a Gothic mansion. I cannot wait to hear more about this. All right, so real quick, breaking news tonight as well. I'm just full of breaking news tonight. Wrong one. Our good friend, Skyler Louise, unfortunately will not be able to join us at the symposium. She is one of our symposium speakers, but she won't be able to join us in Gettysburg. However, they have graciously agreed to present their talk as a webinar on Thursday, August 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Association of Paranormal Study channels. So this is a great opportunity to catch a symposium presentation from home, and I can't wait to hear what Skyler has to share with us. Of course, we also can't do this without our incredible sponsors, Ghostly Images of Gettysburg, Ghosted Magazine, Gold Dust Publishing, Lauren Haunts, and the Boo Sisters podcast. Thank you again to our sponsors for the Paranormal Research Symposium. We can't do this without you. We really appreciate everything you've done for us. And I have so many things, so little time. Let me also put up the fact that there will be merch on sale at the Paranormal Research Symposium. Here is our lovely t-shirt and mug. And here's the website, shop at Para Research Symposium printy.me. I can't really read that. I don't know why I can't read that. Oh, well, all will be well. That's not what I meant to put up. I'm having a night. Why don't we just go ahead and, enough about me, let's go ahead and get John on the show. Welcome, John. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you, too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Like I said, I'm a chaos agent, as you can see. Just so you know, everybody, the chat is open. We already have a chat link up for Association of Paranormal Study to grab your tickets for the symposium. Once again, it's app@gopassage.com. Click on the link. It's right there in the chat. If you come on the chat, again, I don't have to worry about a lot of you. You're all very nice. So I know we're going to have some wonderful people on. John, it's great to see you. John and I were actually he was telling me a wonderful story about his wonderful cute kittens that he's gotten as rescues. They were found at where did you find them again?
They were found at Lake Shawnee, the abandoned amusement park in West Virginia.
And right now you have two, and you
Mhm.
did say, unfortunately for you, but fortunately for someone else, you might have to rehome them.
Unfortunately, yeah. And I mean, there was actually a third one that one got adopted by another paranormal team that was there. Um, and yeah, it was a whole group of paranormal friends, all different teams, and the one of the ones I had found, the one that was sitting over here on the chair that I showed you, that was the last one that was found. Ended up being found the next day, but yeah, they ended up getting dumped, and
Oh,
we ran into them.
I mean, it's so awful that they were dumped like that, but lucky they found you or you found them. So if by the time the symposium comes and you're adorable, you right now are calling them Mew and Mewtwo,
Mhm.
and right now they are still in John's capable hands. But if they have not been adopted, then maybe some of your symposium friends might want to chat with you about that. So I will leave you guys to that. I That sounds absolutely wonderful. Well, we're happy to see you tonight, John. We do have some questions. Are you ready? Because we are hard hitting journalists here.
Let me just log off here for yeah. No, go ahead.
No worries. Very free and easy. I'm okay. So I am very curious. Can you give us an overview of Project Apparition Hall? What is it, and how does it differ from traditional method of apparition photography? Already, you have me at photography.
So the Project Apparition Hall, the main focus of it is to understand the apparition manifestation, their composition, how essentially they put themselves together.
Hmm.
And that's the whole hall portion of it. Is basically we're designing down the line a hall where it can assist them with manifesting. It has our tools to also measure and document what's going on. And we're going to work on incorporating audio and other aspects into this. Uh, because what we found is that, we were making great advancements with, audio documentation with the EVPs and
Yeah.
such. But we've hit a roadblock. And so we started focusing on we can't see where they are because part of it is we want to measure like distance. Where are they when they're speaking? Where are they exactly?
Mm.
If that's even a thing. I mean, this could go well beyond our comprehension, well beyond the 3D dimension, 3D dimension, so to speak. So, you know, we did exercises or different experiments that with audio, but it was it wasn't enough of a measurement that would meet my standards to say 100% this is where they're standing. We also want to see them interacting with objects, how they interact with people, um, but we can't do that without seeing them.
Ah.
So um, what we've been trying to do is so for instance the average what we found, and this is only internal, this is for Uini Research specific.
Right.
um, when we were doing the regular photography, the regular flash photography, digital camera, we averaged out anywhere from 700 to 900 photos before we would get
Mm.
something that's considered unusual.
Okay.
My brother brought it down to 250 to 500 with long exposure, without any flash, just long exposure. And then we started experimenting with other aspects of altering the environment, such as humidity, temperature, different conditions, lighting conditions, and such. And that led into Project Apparition Hall.
Okay.
Um, and Jeremy ended up getting, and Jeremy's my brother.
Mm.
Jeremy ended up getting a really incredible apparition at another location, Wilson Castle, that
Ooh.
that gave us a huge insight into the manifestation process. The kicker is with this apparition, we did it through again, it was long exposure, and part of the reason we chose to do long exposure is so we could keep the lens open, have it record more, absorb more light, and potentially see either an apparition manifest. That was our big thing. We want to see them manifest and potentially leave,
Mm.
or how they travel or what have you, but mostly the manifestation process. Out of I can't count how many pictures. I think we went into the thousands.
Wow.
We ended up getting one photo that defined exactly where we needed to go, and you actually see a light. And I'm going to show this at the symposium.
Right.
That there's this like little light streak that goes across, and you actually see the apparition expand into a person standing there with their fists clenched. And when I went back to the video to determine when the picture was taken and how long the lens was open, we timed that the lens was open for approximately a minute. So during that minute, we know that this transpired. And the reason we were thinking about this is because Jeremy was using a green laser. He with some of the experiments we were doing, he did long exposure, and then he was trying to essentially color them in, so to speak, in more simplistic term.
Okay.
But you could actually trace with raw photography. You could trace the point that we start the laser to the point that the lens closed.
Okay. So
our thinking was, well, can we see, if we get an apparition, can we see them, coming, showing up and expanding or dissipating, or, we were thinking about that because there's other software that can be used to show when certain things have happened. And that's what happened with this specific apparition. And that's what brought us into Project Apparition Hall. Now, there is an emotional story that goes with this that'll be more presented during symposium.
Of course.
When Jeremy and I, when we were going to alter, because there was one set of results that we were doing, we were trying something, it was with the laser and such, where we were getting zero results. Our results dropped down to 0%, wasn't working. And so at first we were going to give up on it, but then we said, you know what? We haven't tried it another way. Let's switch this up. Here's why we should do this. This measurement didn't work, so let's try this. And before we could do that, my brother ended up going to the other side. And to add to that, a year later, what I decided after this whole, and just, for everybody out there, my brother ended up taking his own life.
Okay.
The odd part about all this is that the next year after it happened, I decided, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's just try the thing that Jeremy and I talked about before he passed, and see what we get. We tried it, and literally the first apparition that came through was him.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of the clearest apparitions to date. In fact, Death Walker showed the apparition. My brother, you could see him in his lab coat. He used to wear a lab coat. You saw the lab coat. You saw the glasses. It was an emotional picture, and it was. I get excited and all these things with the research.
Of course.
This happened ironically during, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but at Wildwood Sanitarium, which is like my home away from home.
There, a lot of us at APS, especially Alex, there's a lot of love for Wildwood Sanitarium.
Oh yeah, and the family that owns it, Lori, Brooke, Zach, they're all so amazing.
Yeah. And their new baby.
Yes, and their new baby. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet. I was so happy about that. I was literally, I forgot where I was. I think I was at another haunted location. I looked up, brought up Facebook, and then the first thing I saw was Brooke and Zach with their new baby, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm so happy for them.
It's such a cute little little jub. Oh, wow.
But they had actually hosted an event that was called There Is Hope.
Yes.
And 2021 was when my brother took his own life. In 2022, they hosted There Is Hope, which was actually a dedication to my brother, who was very close with the Wildwood family as well as Lori's brother, who also went the same way.
Yes.
So, and that was on the apparition was actually caught on September 11th, 2022. And it was actually during that event where we were doing the overnight public ghost hunt after the main event. And that's when the apparition was caught. Everybody saw the moment when the apparition was revealed. They saw the event stopped. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
The apparition was. My parents were downstairs. They took the they brought it was captured on a phone. They put the picture down in front of me and said, "John, you got to see this." They didn't say anything. That's all they said. "John, you got to see this." I was downstairs in the dining room. I looked and I immediately saw it plain as day, my brother. And all I remember doing was I turned around, I handed the phone to my mother. I said, "We got Jeremy," and I ran out of the building and I fell to my knees outside of the building and just started sobbing. So it was by far the most emotional piece of evidence that we've ever gotten, and it was good to see my brother again.
I want to hug you right now. Thank you for sharing this incredible emotional experience with all of us, and we can't wait to hear more of that story. Kind of piggybacking on that, your abstract noted that spirits may influence dreams and objects and people. So
Yes.
how has your research shaped your understanding of the limits and consciousness of spiritual entities?
So what we're kind of and that's part of the reason with the Apparition Hall, what we believe, and
Of
science could take us in a different direction, that if these are truly conscious spiritual entities who have passed on, we have to look at it as they aren't necessarily made of the same they're not, we don't know exactly what they may be made out of.
Right.
So that's the part of Apparition Hall where we're trying to pull all that together, understand them through video and photos and such, and see how they put themselves together. If we understand it, we can figure out which parts of the environment they're utilizing, how they're doing that. We understand that there's different elements in an environment or things that people can do that can manipulate behavior of a person. For instance, using sound waves to cause people to hallucinate. There's all these different things that could potentially happen. And one of the things that I found that made me question it, I don't have verifiable proof, but it's a hypothesis right now. A lot of people talk about the whole goosebumps and you get the hair standing up on your neck.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's typically attributed to, well, that's spiritual energy. There's a spirit in the room. But I did some research on sound waves. And one thing I found about a specific sound frequency is just below the average human, or the human, when the person can hear. If they don't hear it, they can actually get goosebumps and their hair can stand up on their neck. So that made me question whether a spirit is standing next to somebody and trying to talk to them, but can't get through to them because the frequency isn't right.
That's an interesting thought. Okay.
So that's where I started testing. And this trust me, Apparition Hall, it can go in so many different directions. It all comes back to Apparition Hall.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that we did a test on is changing up the environment, where we tested acoustics. So, we started testing acoustics, and we found that areas that had better acoustics ended up getting more EVPs that were clearer, and areas that were more cluttered, you may get some, and yes, you do get some clear ones, but it was far less. So we have the numbers to back that up. But we decided to do an experiment like, okay, well, what if we, because people may look at it as go, well, the room may be more haunted because of an event that occurred here as opposed to this one. So I mean, so we were like, okay, well, let's go clutter this other room and free up this room and see if we could change up the dynamic. Does that have any impact? We found that it does. The EVP level dropped in the other room, and in the other room that we cleared out, the EVP level spiked.
Okay.
So, but then again, it's like, okay, well, where are you speaking from? Because one of our past team members brought up saying, well, just because you're hearing them clearly doesn't mean they may not be in another room. So how far away are they able to project themselves? That's another thing, because we want to understand how they're speaking. So part of Project Apparition Hall in the later stages is to get more of a video version of it, where we could actually we could see them at some point. We want to record them talking along with recording the voice. So, but we haven't gotten there yet. Right now we're doing pictures. We're focusing on getting more of a 3D picture. We want to see about mass, density, all these different elements. So we've been doing different tests called, the research is called limitations of ghosts.
Okay.
Because supposedly, and that's where, circling back to the abstract.
Yeah.
Supposedly ghosts can open and close doors, or walk through objects, appear, disappear, speak without a physical body. And so I want to know for sure what they truly can do. So I used to do, I was a security lieutenant. I specialized in intelligence as well as training, but we'll stick with the intelligence part. And I also I'm a trained investigator within the criminal justice field. So, and the way I approach it with that law enforcement aspect, security aspect, where I approach it, I go, you show up at a crime scene, the crime's already happened.
Right.
It's our job to put the pieces together and tell the full story. So that means you have to go backwards. You're essentially going backwards in time. The apparition or the EVP is the result. That's the end result.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the starting point? So that's where we're heading backwards. So I'm basically taking what I've learned through investigators. Believe me, I've dealt with the FBI, the Secret Service. I had worked with directly with a person that was a detective, a retired detective from the police. I went through my own training at an academy. And also had somebody who knew statistics very well. So she sat down and showed me how to, figure out, trends and such. And I took that and all incorporated it. And so that's what we're doing is okay, how much can they impact society? And so if we can understand what an apparition is made out of, and who knows, it could be made out of all different things. Who knows how that works?
Yeah.
All those different elements can cause us to look and go, okay, they're made out of this specific type of element. What type of things does this specific element have? What does it do outside of an apparition? What does this do to the general, to a person who may interact with it? And that could tell us how they may end up doing dreams, how they may speak, how they move objects. So it's my belief that if we look at the result and we get that result and measure what they might be made out of and start taking it backwards, we can truly see what their limits are and see how they may actually impact society, and not only that, how they impact each other. So you get those residential cases where we've had where there was a spirit that was afraid of another spirit. So how can do each one have their own vibrations? Do they know how? Do they use specific elements to protect themselves or attack another? I know for us, we can't think of it very linear. For us, it's if I punch somebody, well, how that happened.
Yeah.
We have the physics, we have the biology, we have all that to back it up. A spirit, we don't know that. So how far can they go? So For us, it goes beyond just simply taking a picture and saying, "Oh wow, we managed to capture a lot of pictures of ghosts." There could be serious suicide, or excuse me, societal repercussions that could come with the results.
Yeah. What do you see as some of those implications?
So, right now I only pretty much ask, or I've only been asking questions like what would, for instance, religion look like? What would politics look like? The medical field, psychology. Um, if we were to find out, tomorrow that ghosts are real, um, how would that change all the laws? How people get evaluated?
Mm.
How governments may choose to lead a country? Um, and heck, people might even change up their own environment. Like if there's environmental conditions, they may change it up to do something to a spirit. And that's there are some worries that I have, because we all know there's good people and there's bad people,
Right.
or people that do bad things.
Right.
And so if people are willing to hurt other people, I'm sure people would be willing to hurt a spirit as well, if that's even possible. Uh,
Mm.
Now, the other aspect of it is that, let's say we do figure out apparitions, figure out the whole apparitions and how things work. Well, and it turns out it leads back to that spirits um, are truly conscious beings who had passed on. It's our relatives or friends, family, what have you. Um, this is the thing I'm most scared of. Will the suicide rate go up?
Ah, okay.
Because if you don't have to pay bills anymore, and there's an afterlife, will people stick around? So during this, when we're presenting this, and that's why Uini Research, people may see that we're very quiet, we're very to ourselves. We present when we're ready,
Mm.
because, and we think about this before we even present. We are thinking about these questions, and the last thing we want to do is have people head down a dark path, especially at an early stage. Oh, hang on,
Oh,
someone's got
do
to
we
say
have a
hi.
kid? Hi.
We have a kitten.
Okay, which one is that?
This one is
Which one is that?
this one's Mew.
All right. So, friends, this is Mew. This is a female cat. It's a How old do you think she is?
We're estimating 8 weeks.
Oh, he's a baby. He's a
Yeah,
baby. Hello. So, Mew is look Mew is looking for a forever home, and she came from the Lake Shawnee amusement park, at where John and his paranormal group and so many others found her, and she found them. So if that doesn't convince you that there's fate, I don't know what does.
and I'm gonna be blunt on my end. We were there. We helped take care of it. I don't want to take credit for finding them, because I personally didn't. Uh, but
Yeah.
people were investigating. All our friends were all investigating. They ran into them. There's two. I'm trying
Oh,
to keep both of them together. You could tell they are close. They cuddle together.
they're
So.
okay.
Um, but
Yeah.
I forgot where I was at. All of a sudden, I
No,
saw the
it's
kid. I was like,
okay.
I gotta show the kid.
Yeah. No, hey, everything is good for kittens. And we have Rick Perry on, who's saying hi, John.
Hey, Rick. Rick Perry. He's the man. I love that guy.
Okay, Rick Perry, you heard it here. You're the man. um, so, can you walk us through what a typical session would look like with Project Apparition Hall?
So it actually goes through all different all different different test methods. So we are testing sound, we are testing consciousness, so it does switch up. Um, we are
Okay.
utilizing right now a green laser, but we are going to be testing other colors, because there's some results that popped up that were like, um, we're seeing that they might be heading towards the UV spectrum.
That's
Um,
interesting. Okay.
and so my concern was, because I wasn't going to use a blue laser before, is that I felt like, well, if they're more towards that spectrum, I feel like a blue laser might wash them out. Um, but what we do is we're changing, we basically try to change up the humidity. We create what's called a charging station.
Mhm.
We are utilizing blue light, humidity. We're changing that. We're also trying to change the temperature. We're aiming for humidity is around 70% or so, 70-75% humidity. The temperature, we decrease it a bit, but we don't make it too cold. And
Mhm.
once we get it to where we feel it works, based off of what the numbers we've seen, um, we put about 4 seconds worth of fog in the air, from the fog machine. And the laser, we use it, we do it sideways. We create a wall, essentially. Um, and
Okay.
the pictures that we take approximately 1 to 2 pictures per second. And the
Okay.
reason we're doing that is also to measure when an apparition appears and is gone. So that
Mm.
gives us an opportunity for other additional measurements. That's where we're the basics of where we're at right now. We've also, within the pictures, we've been trying to keep a similar distance for where we have where the laser starts and where the laser ends, because we're also measuring, the quality of the apparition based off of where they are. Like, if they're behind several feet behind the laser, the wall. So I'll just refer to it as the wall. Are they? Is their visibility better? Do they need to be in front? What does it look like if they're walking through? What does we're testing all these different things, and that's going to help us determine how we're going to build it. We're going to be aiming for a 3D portion of it, where we're creating a multiple walls, so to speak, and we're going to have things going at the same time, so that we can measure and hopefully at some point get a 3D photo of an apparition. So,
Okay.
and we've documented, there's a few things we've documented at one point a apparition that was actually leaving the room. They appeared in 3 separate photos, but one was more full, and then they got less and then less, but we actually saw them leaving the room. We had another one that was sitting in a chair that doesn't exist.
Okay, that's interesting. The chair didn't
Yeah,
exist.
and at first the apparition was so clear that I questioned it. I thought it was a person at first, and I actually went by it, and
Mm.
I thought it was one of the people that, because there was someone that was there that really wanted to be in the room in another area, and I was like, if this laser hits you, you go blind, so you need to be out. Um, and so when I saw them, I was like, wait a minute, why is she in the room? She shouldn't be there. Um, Little did I know, first off, it was actually, when I evaluated it later, it turned out it was a male apparition. But the first thing I saw
Mhm.
was glasses, and I'm like, and this other person wore glasses. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Um, but then something caught my attention as I'm going through the photos. I'm like, wait a minute, we're taking 1 to 2 photos a second, and I'm already like 5 photos in, and this person is not here. There's no way that I was like, get out of the room, and they disappeared in a half a second. So I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, let me go back to the other photos, and I went back, nothing. And I'm like,
Hmm.
they only appeared in this one photo. I checked the times in which the photos were taken. That's how I ended up going, oh, this is actually an apparition. And then I saw the person, because they were holding up their phone. I saw their phone in the I saw their phone in the towards where I was taking pictures. I was like, that person's sitting right there. This isn't them. Um, so, but then they were sitting. So they were sitting, and I'm like, um, I noticed something else in the picture. I'm like, wait a minute. You can see both the chairs that are typically there, because trust me, I have Wildwood Sanitarium memorized. Um, and I'm
Right.
like, wait a minute, these chairs are right here. You could see them. We didn't have a chair right here. This was left clear because we keep everything clear. We don't want to run into anything.
Mm.
And I outlined it. When I outlined it, the person sitting in a chair that doesn't exist, the chair's not there. And I'm like, what is going on here? We caught a picture of something that looks like a doll. We've caught cat apparitions. Oh yeah. And here's the thing: we didn't know this was happening. So there's one of our friends, Bree. She had recorded a cat, cat meowing and rubbing up against their camera when they had stayed there. We never knew they had got this. So we ended up getting a couple cat apparition photographs at a few different times. We showed it to Brooke, and Brooke messaged Bree, and because we were going to end up meeting up, and said, she said to both of us, talk to each other. And so
Wow.
Bree showed me the video, and she said she had seen the cat. So I'm like, interesting. I was like, so before I show you the photo, what does the cat look like? And when she described the cat, it was exactly what the picture was. I put out the picture in front of her, and she was like, yep, that's the cat.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so that started up another idea. Spirit profiles. So we started creating profiles. If what we tried to do was we tried to do EVP sessions and spirit box sessions, where we had on a flat screen TV. We brought up the picture at Wildwood, if that's where we caught it, and we would go, okay, we caught this picture. Can you tell us who this is in this picture? And we've got names. The cat photo, they identify because Bree picked up the name Shiloh. We had somebody that said, when we asked about that, they said, it's confirmed, or it's accurate. Excuse me. It's accurate. That's what they said.
Oh.
So we have that. We have a spirit named Richard that came through. We have a lady that identified herself in a photo. So what we've started doing is we've started seeing if we could create like a profile. Okay, we have an apparition picture. If we have a life picture, we put it with there. And we started putting down the different signs or different interactions. If we were able to hear, if they identified like Richard, he said, I said, who is this person? They go, it's me. And I go, okay, well, it's you. Who's you? And it goes, Richard. And I go, and we could hear male voice deeper. So we were able to start documenting, their tone of their voice, how they speak. And we started creating more of a profile for each individual spirit and trying to identify trends between all of them so we can also, focus on unique interactions with them in the future and go, listen to a spirit box or EVP and go, oh, okay, that's this person. That's this person talking.
Wow.
So it's a game changer, and we've just used this Project Apparition Hall at a residential case for the first time ever this year. And so here, the interesting part is and it's the daughter that was seeing them. The daughter was reporting seeing an older woman. And also because there's two daughters, they said that they both saw a little cat spirit. I don't know what it is about cat spirits, but here we go.
Something about you and cats. Right? You are the cat whisperer.
So we did Apparition Hall, and we got the female, and we caught the cat. So I gave it to the owner, and I was just like, because it was a question of, is this person actually seeing this, or is this, this goes into that whole psychological condition. And again, another thing that could be impacted. A person says they're seeing something, but are they? Well, they're saying they saw a cat and they're seeing an older woman, and we could be going, well, we can't see that. And now we're literally seeing, an interaction. We actually got two pictures of a cat on their bed where they said they were experiencing things. There's an older woman that sits in the corner. Um, we caught an older woman that was by the bed, by the child's bed, and we're like,
Okay.
okay, now we could take. Now we're knowing we could take this to potentially to a next step. We're going to bring the pictures back there. We're going to bring up the pictures and say, can you tell us who you are or who this is? And see if we can start bringing that back to history, and see if and start to
Mm,
understand who they might be, and start to see why they're there, how we can resolve the case so that the girls or the girls are no longer scared. Um,
mm.
it has been changing how we've been approaching things.
Wow, that's incredible. And also, you have Matthew Ryan Kondraki has said, "Hey, buddy," and now you have two real
Yes, yeah.
cats.
And hey,
Thanks, Matthew. Just so you know, everybody in the chat, if you please go ahead and start entering questions that you may have for John in the chat window, and because we'll go to do some Q&A in a little bit. I want to sort of segue over to the
mhm.
symposium. So first of all, have you ever been to Gettysburg before?
Actually, I'm embarrassed to say this. No.
Yay! We have another Gettysburg virgin. You're not the only one. Don't feel bad. So let me, okay, but what is something that you are most excited about? First off, being in Gettysburg.
Um, I've heard so much about it. I don't even know what to expect. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm only gonna be coming up there and then leaving. I don't have a hotel or anything.
Yeah.
So, but I've heard so much about it, how haunted it is, the history behind it. It's just it's a paranormal hotspot that people absolutely love, and you know, to have I've never presented a scientific presentation like this
Mm.
before. I've done presentations, but not focused on the academic part of it, because the general public that I typically talk to, they're not interested in the statistics, the numbers. It's like but uh, hey, if it gets them interested, showing these apparition stuff, and it gets them, to ask questions and even start maybe their own research, we've done our job. Um,
Mm.
but being able to bring this to the symposium, a unique event, um, and have it in a historical place that I've never been to. I can't. I'm killing two birds with one stone, and I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
love it. And I'm grateful for you guys putting all of this together
Oh,
and
it's
bringing
our
it to
pleasure.
Gettysburg. Like, that is just phenomenal. It gives me the opportunity to actually come out there and see what this is all about.
Yeah. So, what are you most excited to share at the symposium?
Um, You know, I'm excited. Well, partially actually showing some of the data, but um, but
Mm.
showing some of those apparitions, showing the but also I think one of the most exciting things uh, or the thing I'm one of the things I'm most excited about is talking about the future of where this is going. Um, because
Yeah.
I don't really discuss that. A lot of the stuff I've discussed here is more of the here and now, but
Mm.
discussing more of the phases that we're going to take to go through this, and how we're going to go about doing that, and the history of it, because we're going to show results that this is why we went in this direction, and then here's where we are and here's where we're going, and to
Mm.
be able to present this to many different people, diverse backgrounds and such. uh, my hope is that people will take something away from this, that it will help their research, help the field move forward, potentially help other people. And I know people like to, there's people that go out and help spirits as well, that it'll help them. If someone is helped out of this, whether spirit or the living, just through just this first presentation, I feel like I will have done my job, and I'm excited for that.
Wonderful. Oh, what a lovely thing to say, especially since I was going to ask you, what do you hope attendees are going to walk away with? There you go, everybody. So let's take a moment to see if there are any questions, because this is some pretty interesting insights. So, everybody, if you have questions for John about Project Apparition Hall or apparition photography or his methods, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And I hope people do ask him questions, because then he'll have to, because if you don't, you'll have to contend with me, and I'm a wild card. You don't know what I might ask you. So let's give you guys a chance to drop some questions in there. In the meantime, what would be, as you're working on Project Apparition Hall, do you have any particular locations that would be your absolute dream location to take Project Apparition Hall to?
I have quite a few. I mean, Penhurst is one place. Waverly Hills.
Oh, I was just thinking Waverly.
Well, stop putting the thought in my head. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, I have that effect on people. Sorry about that.
I definitely want to. I have a prize I still haven't claimed yet to get to Madison Seminary. So it's daytime event. Excuse me, weekday investigation. So I still want to claim that, and I want to test it there. But those are three of the places I'm really excited about because of the some of the results I've seen from other people is they've gotten apparitions, especially even like Waverly Hills.
Oh yes.
So
shadow figures.
And here's the thing: we've gotten shadow figures back.
I was actually curious about that. Now that you bring it up, how does Project Apparition Hall work when it comes to shadow figures?
They have been appearing in shadow format.
Interesting.
Now, there was something that because the direction that this has taken us was down towards light energy, and when I was studying that, I was looking up different scientific terms. The one term I was interested in was the visible spectrum, and what I wanted to understand about that was what does the science community actually mean when they say visible spectrum? And it's actually the spectrum in which we can specifically see. So, I mean, pretty simple, but I wanted to verify that because, when I think of visible spectrum, I mean, we could make the other spectrums visible in some capacity through other types of equipment, like you got the IR lighting, UV lighting, so on. But for the sake of the science portion of it and the accuracy of it, I wanted to go with that. The thing about the shadow figures, the hypothesis that we currently have on it is that it's a being that has manifested enough. Like I confuse these two, so excuse me on this. Is the mass density that they have enough where we can see them, but our eyes cannot register the color spectrum that they're on, so they appear as black. And when we're looking at these, we know that with like the color black and the color white technically do not exist in light. White is every color. Black is the absence. So how could you see something that is black in a huge dark environment that's also black? Technically speaking, you're never fully seeing black. But then you're seeing, so like Wilson Castle was a perfect example. We saw a shadow figure, myself and somebody else at the same time, shadow figure. Wilson Castle, 3rd floor, there's no power. It's dark. We had the lights out. There was nothing. But of course our eyes adjusted a bit because there is still some light. You get moonlight or, stars, stuff like that. Not that the stars are really going to do anything, but the moonlight and such.
Stars
not too much. But you see, we see this black figure that's in this completely pitch black room, but we can tell there's something blacker than the black that we saw. So this is when I started looking at if they're light energy, and we're seeing them through more. We're testing. That's why we're testing the different environmental stuff with lights. Um, who's to say that it's just something that our eyes cannot register?
That's possible. I mean, yeah.
Maybe they are vibrating at a frequency that we can't see, and it's just beyond it. But we can still see there's a mass there. So it's changed again. It's changed my perspective on shadow figures as well, because I'm not looking at shadow figures as, well, they're a separate entity or that they're demonic or something like that. To me, it's like maybe you're just vibrating outside of something, so I can't see your detail. I can see you are there, but unless you get down to the level that my eyes can, you reach the visible spectrum, I cannot see you. So, I mean, because you can see other things, like you look at the night sky and it's pretty much black. But is it really black?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So that's where I have to ask those questions. Because, like, let's say you take the moon, the stars, and you just get rid of all of that. The sun, everything.
Oh, God, that's actually one of my worst nightmares.
I hope.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much for that. Keep going.
Well.
I'll be fine. I feel exposed now. Oh, Lord. Okay, so you have no sun, no moon, no stars.
Yeah, so you take away the sun. The sun also helps. I mean, the light from the sun reflects off the moon, which, that's, you got the light bouncing around. Well, let's say you have no light to bounce anywhere. What does that do? What are you going to see? Which I would say that's when you're going to see black. You're going to see pitch black, what that really is. Now, let's say spirits, though. Okay, it's pitch black. If spirits are light energy, then could we see them better? And this is why it comes down to that whole seeing them in the night versus the daytime. Not saying that people don't see them during the day, but
right.
When you bring in light energy, you're bringing in all different other elements as well. And then you have to take into consideration thunderstorms, how it seems to have an impact statistically. So are we bringing in water elements, the electromagnetics, how many different aspects? Because we could argue that we could simply say, well, ghosts are energy. Okay, we figured it out. Thanks for coming to my talk. But
folks don't do that.
I actually did that during one of my presentations. I just said, we've all said that spirits are made out of energy, and thanks. And I actually walked out of the room, and then I came back in. But
I mean, don't give away all of that, all of your tricks or all of your comedic routines or timing for this, John. Save something for everybody.
I'll come up with some.
Yeah, come up with something random.
But yeah, that's where my thought goes to.
Interesting.
And I feel like there's a chain reaction that I don't feel like necessarily that the research is just going to be a specific room. I feel like it's going to extend out. It may extend out to solar system level. We might be bringing in a study about the sun, which I know people do record, but we're not at that point yet. We're doing baseline related stuff and we've identified trends in that, and now we're expanding. And if those numbers take us out into the solar system, so to speak, then we'll bring in the sun, we'll bring in the moon, we'll bring in all that stuff. We have data in regards to that related stuff, but not for Project Apparition Hall currently.
But it sounds like, in your opinion, that there is you're starting to name some of the future technology of paranormal investigation already. And, well, so in your opinion, following that, how close are we to a real breakthrough?
We are actually, I would say, within the next few years, we might have a massive breakthrough. Um,
Wow.
the fact is that, especially last year is where we started really hitting our stride. Um, where we were hitting apparition after apparition after apparition, and we're like, okay, what are we doing that's causing this? We think we know. It was like the apparition with Jeremy. Jeremy, I jumped the gun. It was an emotional response. I'm like, oh my goodness, the experiment worked. Oh my goodness, but it's one photo,
Right.
and we
Right.
know with science you can't go by one photo. So
True.
that's why with science you have to replicate under similar conditions and different conditions. So we've taken thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of photos. The numbers are starting not to lie, or well, they're not lying. Excuse me, they're not lying.
Right.
So what we're really starting to do now is we're trying to analyze each of the apparitions, create another type of measurement system where it's like about the apparitions themselves, like a classification.
Right. Like a genus or
Like
species.
basically, if we want to start creating like a measurement system to measure the quality of the apparitions, and also like we're looking at distance from the laser fog, the humidity, all that type of stuff to see identify all these different trends and see what matters in it, what doesn't. But yeah, we're making headway, without a doubt. And when people see the results, people will start to understand. This is only the beginning. This is phase one. And I'll tell people, I'm not going to reveal, but we have 4 phases for completion. If everything goes well, we have 4 phases.
And we will definitely find out, ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, you're going to find out about those 4 phases with this incredible presentation on Project Apparition Hall by our good friend John Griffin. And I'm betting all of you are just holding those questions and you're going to fire them at him and you're going to make him stay in the room and you're going to basically make him go overtime just answering all those questions and fulfilling your curiosity. John, this is fascinating. Thank you for joining us tonight on our symposium speaker series. And thank you for sharing these insights with us and your adorable kittens. The Lake Shawnee 2 is what I'll call them, the Lake Shawnee duo. And all of you, thank you for tuning in. And and I know you guys are excited. We're all excited about this weekend at the Paranormal Research Symposium in beautiful downtown Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Remember, tickets are on sale online for $50 until this Friday. Then after that, they will be $60 at the door. So don't wait. As I said earlier, last I heard, we have 24 tickets left. So jump on it, head to gopassage.com and grab yours. Don't forget also my beautiful overlay montages. Here we go. We have our wonderful friend, Skyler Louise, who unfortunately cannot join us for the symposium. They will be able to generously do their presentation for you as a webinar. And let me get the date on that. That will be on Thursday, August 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Association of Paranormal Study channels. So tune in and see this incredible presentation from Skyler Louise. Very excited about that. Also, thanks again to our incredible sponsors, without which we couldn't do something incredible like this. Ghosted Magazine, Ghostly Images of Gettysburg, Gold Dust Publishing, Lauren Haunts, and the Boo Sisters Haunting Podcast. Thank you again, sponsors, and we can't wait to see you and meet you at the symposium. And finally, and also, in addition, my good friends, we can't wait to see you at the symposium. If for whatever reason you can't join us on August 23rd, and why not? But it's okay. I won't judge. To be fair, I can't go either, but that's another story. I know, I'm very sad. But all of our wonderful friends will be posting photos on our Facebook and Instagram pages, so you can keep up with us on that. So until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and of course, stay spooky. So, good friends, good night. We'll see you